Okay. I think we are live now. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Um, we are live. I need some minutes to quickly run through that. So, so can you guys check for me if you're live on YouTube and you can see from your let me know if we have anyone that is live on YouTube right now. Oh, love, awesome. Yes, that's fine. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another interesting session. If someone say that we are live, yes. I have a couple of we are live updates from here. So thank you, everyone, and welcome to this session once again. This is the second live webinar that we are going to be hosting at Leader Mentor for interested applicants who wants to go for a scholarship study for their master's degree program and a PhD option as an HND holder. The first session was a general session that had, I think, three major scholars and, of course, the founder of Leader Mentor, Mr. Sharif Lamiri, and myself. And this is like an advancement of that session, or let's say a follow up on that session, where we are going to be doing a DIY. Oh, we've not even started. Someone is already asking question. Is here reminding? So please take a chill pill. So we are going to get to that part. So every questions that you guys have, we'll get to that part. So please take it easy for us. Take it easy with us. So on today's session, Okay, guys. Apologies for that breaking transmission. Network issue. I had issues around YouTube Live. Can you guys hear me now? I believe that people should be able to hear me live now. Am I audible to you guys? So, hi guys, can you guys hear me now? Apologies, there's been serious battling serious network issues here. Can you hear me now? Please, if you can hear me, just shoot in the comment section. Let me know if you guys can hear me, so we can get back and start. All right, so I'm bringing the speakers in now, so that should it be that my network times out, one of them can start can start the session, and then we'll be able to. So there won't be any delay whatsoever going forward. So yes, thank you very much. I believe you guys can hear me, and for the mentioned in the introduction, this is like a follow-up session to our prior session that was held. Where we have three topics going to be kickstarting with. So we're having a demo today that shows us how to application live. So while we are trying to do that, we are going to have Mr. Sherif Lamidi. Sherif Lamidi is going to Sherif Lamidi.
Even with the blurry background. Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hi guys, possibly to see much of how much of the session we can fit in and salvage. So Mr. Sharif is experiencing similar challenge with his internet connectivity right now. So making the whole experience quite uninteresting. So I believe that in the moment we should have Mr. Sharif back. So he's wanting to join too again. Um, I believe that people can hear me now. Please, can you signify you can hear me right now? Apologies for asking you guys to signify almost every time. Yes, in-house guys, can you please just Ayomide, can you drop me a chat, a private chat to let me know if you guys can hear me? Oh, lovely. Studio. Well, from the guys that are not on the studio, I believe you can hear me from YouTube. Oh, thank you. That's interesting. You guys can hear me. So let's anybody that is having network connectivity issues amongst the speakers to please maybe go off the video for now. So when you want to speak, we are going to bring you back into the session with a video. So quickly, as I've been mentioning, so today's session we are expecting Mr. Sheriff to kickstart, but unfortunately we are both having network issues. Nigeria challenge, some of the challenges we have here. So introduce today's session and also helping us to nurse and develop our research interests for those who have a research interest, and for those who don't even have anything that they already have as research interest and they want to pursue a graduate program, scholarship in the US, Canada, Europe. So some of the things that is going to be introducing us to will help us understand how to find our supervisors, find schools that have program, and those program and how can this program can be used to resonate with our career interests, our pursuits, and a number of that. So while we are waiting for Mr. Sharif to get on board, I'll move on to Mr. Olojo, Mubarak Olojo, to quickly take us through how to plan application documents in application dates and their deadlines. As we all know, application, just like every other endeavor, has certain parameters that need to be met. How can we make the most out of these parameters, and how can we ensure that the documents that we are putting forth are the things that will get us through the door and get us that much needed scholarship. So this is what Mr. Mubarak Olojo is going to be talking about today.
Hello, good day, everyone. Uh, so I'll be talking on, you know, important dates and how to go about your, application, how to start, how to kickstart the whole thing, getting your documents and everything ready. So basically, the very
The
first thing,
scholarship program.
so basically, the very first thing you need to do is just, get your documents ready. By getting your documents ready, your transcript and your CV. If you get your transcript and your CV ready, yeah, that is how you kickstart the whole thing. By getting your your transcript and CV ready, you can start by preparing a cold email. That is when you search for your school for schools that you intend to, apply to. You've already gone through the schools. You've seen that they have your program that you are interested in. They have the research area that you actually want to do or pursue for your PhD or master's program. So that is when from there can identify the professors for each schools, pick out those that actually where their research interest aligns with yours. That is when you can now say, okay, let me prepare a cold email for this particular professor, so that I can code email the professor. Preparing your code email is something that is very, very crucial, because that is an email that captivates the interest of the professor. When you send the code email, it's whatever the code email entails is what we move the professor and make sure the professor is interested in you. Then another thing to look for is we we can also take a look at schools that you intend to apply to, their graduate fair, and send emails to graduate coordinator telling them you are willing to apply to their schools, and if they can give you application fee waivers, so you can have ways to get around the application fee, because most application fee cost $50, 60, 70, or up to $100, depending on the type of schools you're applying to. But most schools give fee waivers through graduate fair and virtual fair also. So all these things, or sending emails to graduate coordinator, you can always get your fee waiver from there, and which can give you a good start to start the application of the school. So another thing to be really, really important about talk about is the date and application deadline. So this date and application deadline is very crucial for you to note them while applying. So depending on the schools you are applying to, depending on your department you are applying to, and depending on the session you are applying to, there are different dates and deadline for each application cycle. So I think we have summer, fall, and spring sections. Some schools have winter, but not all schools. The three cycle is summer, fall, and spring. Though most students target fall as application cycle, because that is when most openings are available in each lab, and in some schools when they have funding, so that they can say, oh, I can take students in for this semester and actually fund them. But all these things can also happen in spring and summers too. But the large bulk of it happens in fall. And for fall application cycle, if you want to be considered for funding and assistantship, most schools have their deadline for at least about, and 50% to 60% of schools have their deadline coming up by December 1, December 15 or January 1 or January 15. So those are priority deadlines. That is what they call them. If you want to be considered for admission, for funding or assistantship in the department or the school, for that set of schools, the priority deadline are that date, which is December 1, December 15, January 1, or January 15. Some schools also still have different deadlines, maybe, and you will still be considered for funding or assistantship, depending on the school you're applying to. So it's always very crucial to find this out on the school website or the department website. It will be stated there that if you want to be considered for assistantship, you need to be able to submit your documents before or on the priority deadline date. And by submitting all these documents, you need to be able to, submit all your recommendations, your transcripts, depending on the document they are requesting for. All these things, you need to prepare them ahead of that priority deadline. So it's like you're working towards something. So you work towards that particular date and, that particular deadline, because, your goal is to apply to the school, get admission, and also get an assistantship or some form of funding for you to be able to progress in your school for the graduate school. Then there are some deadline aside from the priority deadline: February 15, March 1st, March 15, April 1, April 15. But all these deadlines, they might be there depending on the school. You don't want to apply to school that will consider you for fall admission by April 15. Definitely, people would have, fill up the space of that funding that is available. Because from what I've observed, most professors, when they're in need of students, they don't always want it to be like something that would be ethic to find, just, going through a lot of applications and all. They want to see, they really wish to see the right candidate at the right time. Okay, you send me a cold email. I see that, you're very interesting. Organize a Zoom meeting or a Zoom interview with the person, and have a discussion for about 30 minutes where you talk about your strengths, and the professor will also ask you 1 or 2 questions regarding your undergraduate or whatever your research interest is. So that way the professor is already knowing what you are capable of one way or the other, and okay, this person can actually kickstart a PhD in my lab and do some research that we are working on. So you already have the background knowledge and all. I feel like that is for fall. But for summer, if you want to apply for summer, it's usually very few. Most schools don't take classes in summer. So it's always or mostly research. If you are coming in summer, then basically what you are doing is research. You're coming in just to do research for that summer semester. So then you start coursework by fall. But for a professor to bring you in for summer, it shows that there's a research on the ground that you really need to start working on, or you need to start getting familiar with, so that you can kickstart everything faster and not to delay. But the main coursework would start in fall. That is where that happen, and you can the application date for summer mostly is always like October, November, around that time, because you're applying ahead for summer. That is before fall comes in. That is when you start applying for summer. Almost the same application cycle with spring. If you are applying for spring and or summer, they always state it there in some schools for their application. So, and this they have priority deadlines too. Some schools are September 1, some schools are September 30, most schools are October 1. Like you can't, most schools don't even accept application for summer or spring after October 15. because they will need to decide on your application. They will need to see if you are going to need funding or not. If there is funding available, they give you funding. Then before the whole process of you getting your visa interview and all, it takes a lot of time. And some schools don't even issue I-20 after some dates. They'll tell you, because we can't issue you I-20 now because we know that it's very, very hard for you to get a visa interview date and ultimately come to the US. You won't be able to meet up. So that is why even these schools are using these priority application deadlines, so that when you get the deadline, when you meet the deadline, we can easily decide on your admission faster. Then if you are in need of funding and we have the funding, we can give it to you. Then that would make sense for you to, there will be a lot of time for you to prepare yourself for the interview and ultimately get to the US faster without any delay before coming to school. So because they realize that most students always request for additional time to resume. For example, the resumption date might be August 21, but they realize that most students will have to say, oh, my interview date is still very close or is still very far. I can't meet up with that August 21. Can you help me adjust for like 2 weeks? Then for 2 weeks I'll be able to do my interview and all. So if you're adjusting for 2 weeks, if the school is even giving you that opportunity, it shows that you're going to miss out on 2 weeks of classes. One way or the other, you're going to mix out on a lot of things. So it's just a way of the school making sure all their students are fine. You are ready before you get into the school. They don't want you to come in and start rushing everything one way or the other. So these are the importance of the priority application deadlines and dates. And I don't know, if you have started with planning your documents right, then and ensuring that your recommenders are ready and prepared, that you are planning to start an application for the US or UK application cycle, then most of them understand this. Just ensure that you keep up with them and you meet up with the priority deadline, and you'll be fine. I think basically that is what I need to cover. So if there are any questions regarding that, then you can always drop questions in the comment section. So for the whole thing, in the absence of no question, um, Zoo.
Hi, sorry. Good morning, everybody. So, can you signify if you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you please go ahead? Like,
Oh, okay. Good morning, everybody. So, this morning I'm going to be walking you through how to apply to schools, the different sessions, the different sections in the application process, and also, of course, like the most important thing, how to search for schools, because a lot of people are having issues with that. You see some people come up and like, oh, can you send us a list of schools for economics with that offers full funding? Yeah, some schools don't categorically put it on their website, oh, we have full funding to give you guys. You actually have to make your research. Some of us are lucky, we get connections from people that have applied before saying, oh, apply to my school, they'll give you full funding, and some don't. So you shouldn't always rely on information. And even when they do at times, they might not give you like the full information. So you'd actually have to go to the school's website, reach out to the graduate coordinator, make necessary inquiries. So the first part of my session is to walk you guys through how to search for schools. There are lots of websites out there. There are lots of websites. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. So there are lots of websites you can actually go through to search for schools. I mean, when I started my application, one of the first things I did was to type cities in the US that is civil engineering. So basically what I did. I mean, I was new. I didn't have so many resources. I didn't have a lot of people who would actually guide me through. So this was actually the statement, like the words I put into Google. And then it brought random schools, as you can see. It brought random schools. You have civil engineering universities in the US, and you can always just explore. These are the list of the school. But one particular one that I think is really, really helpful is US News and World Report. It will give you a list of ranking. It will rank your schools in different categories: top in the US, top in civil engineering, top in engineering, or even top in your research, your particular research area. So you can just come to this website if you're not sure of where to start from, and you can just type in your school, let's say Stanford University. So this is searching by school. If you want to, if you're not, if you already have an idea of the school you want, you can just search by school, or you can just search by course, political science, for instance. And then it gives you best political science in the US, what you need to know, colleges offering political science major. These are various subsections that you can actually explore to give you a better insight to the list of schools you can apply to. So after section, you already know, oh, I'm applying to like 15 schools. These are the list of 15 schools. The next thing you would want to do is to go to the particular school's website. For instance, University of Virginia. You can just type it on Google. It brings this whole bunch of stuff: admission rates, the costs, the programs they offer. Of course, it won't give you the full program list. And then you can just navigate to their website. Sorry. Okay, so this is the website. And this is typical for most US schools. If you click on, even Canadian schools, if you click on their website, this is almost exactly what you'd see. Of course, the fonts and colors are not the same thing, but these are some of the subsections you see: about us, academics, admission, the arts, athletics might not be there, but you would definitely see academics and admission. Those are the two important categories you should always look for. If you're searching through your phone, it might come down as a bar. So you would actually, if you are using your phone or a pad that doesn't have this extent of width, you would actually see it in this format, and you can just go here, click here, or you can use the search button. So you want to first of all start with admission. It brings you a list of undergraduate admission, undergraduate programs, and this. but most times some schools would actually have undergraduate and graduate programs. This is not here, so you might probably just come to academics. If you don't see it in admissions, you probably come to academics and then go to schools or graduate program. So let's go to schools. And sorry. Okay, so you can actually go to graduate studies too. And you have graduate admissions, because it was in, of course, in admissions is here. And then you have the graduate programs and degrees. I would prefer we go through the graduates degrees first, because you would want to see department specific admissions first. Then there would always be a link to the graduate school admission. So there's a difference between department school admission criteria and the graduate school admission criteria. Like in Nigeria, for instance, we have College of Engineering. Like, let's say, for instance, last week, you have College of Engineering, College of Arts and Sciences. So in the US, every college and department is independent.
Hi Zol, apologies. Your screen is not interactive. What we can see from your screen is best site for SOP and personal statement.
Oh,
So,
wow. Sorry.
so what you have been discussing so far, there has been a lot of gap. So I think you need to go back
Oh,
to
wow. Sorry. So I'll
and
just
make
probably
it
go
done
back.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
And please follow through the comments on the YouTube too, so you can know what issues are people having.
Okay, I'm really sorry for that. I did not know. I guess there's something
Yeah.
wrong here. Um, So after, like I said, after going through the list of schools in the US, getting the list of schools you want to apply to, you think you apply to, and also there are categories of schools in the US. You have rich schools, you have um schools that would definitely give you admission. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. And then you have schools that have 50% chance of giving you admission. Now, for your rich schools are schools like MIT, Johns Hopkins, Stanford, Carnegie Mellon, and then schools that would probably have like a 40% chance of giving you admission. You have University of Virginia, University of Michigan, Case Western Reserve University. And then schools that would probably give you, they would definitely give you admission even without funding, are schools like Southern Illinois University, Western Illinois University, um, West Virginia University. So you should always categorize your schools. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and apply for rich schools. Apply for safety schools. Safety schools are like your backup schools that, oh, if this rich schools don't give me admission, if MIT doesn't give me admission, target schools will give me, okay, yeah, target safety and rich schools. Target schools are schools that, okay, if MIT doesn't give me admission, I know that University of Virginia would give me admission. Even in some extent, in some courses, University of Virginia is even a rich school. So the school's acceptance rates can be like, let's say, 30%, like my school, but the department acceptance rates can be like 10%. My department acceptance rate is 10%. So sometimes when you check the school's acceptance rates, you would also want to check the department acceptance rates. It also differs. So apply to have a group of schools for target schools. Please, you guys are allowed to dream big. So you can apply to Stanford and MIT. I got into Stanford. Of course, they didn't give me funding, but so you can apply to top schools, target schools. Just target schools are like 50-50 or 60-40, 60-40. They will give me admission. And then to safety schools, just something for you to fall back on if these two categories don't work out. So afterwards, I'm picking the demo I'm going to walk through is using the University of Virginia. Let's say University of Virginia is one of the schools I'm applying to. I'll just type on Google University of Virginia and go straight to their website, which is usually here. And if you're using your phone, I don't know how it works on phone. I don't really use my phone, but you will definitely see the website icon there. And then you can, the most important, this is like an interface for most schools in the US. You would always see subsections like this: about us, academics, admissions, etc. But the most important to you is academics and admission. That is always, that is subsection you should always focus on. So you can go to admissions or academics, either way. You can work both ways. And your, for admission, you can come, you'd always see undergraduate admission in some places and graduate admission. They are two different things. They can be together and they can be separate. But since it's not here, you go to academics. If it's not in if you don't see your graduate admission in admission subsection, just come to academics, and then you should definitely see graduate studies. So it will lead you to another subsection of the graduate school. Like I said, the graduate schools are independent. They have their own admission criteria. For those applying to mechanical engineering, they can ask you to submit SOP. For those applying to civil engineering, they might not ask you to submit SOP. There are some schools that don't ask, but there are very few. Or they can ask you to submit GRE in mechanical and not submit in civil. So they are really independent. And again, the graduate school is like the bigger envelope, and then there are subsections. There's like, in graduate school you have school of engineering, school of sciences, school of arts. So graduate school has their own admission. The graduate school can ask you to submit SOP, personal statement, and GRE, while your department asks you not to submit. But you have to fulfill those two criteria to be able to get in. You have to fulfill graduate admission criteria and your department's criteria. So the next thing you want to do is either go through graduate admissions or graduate degree. You can first of all get the graduate school's admission criteria before going to your department's admission criteria. So let's go through graduate admission first to see if there's even a chance you can get in. So these are the list of schools that are here. And if you are in, depending on your department, if you're in political science, you go for arts and sciences. If you're in school of medicine, school of law, engineering, for me, engineering. So just, so the this is where you can get a whole list of information about your faculty, basically. So these are options that are available to you. You would always see in every graduate admissions website, you would always see graduate admissions, future undergrads, everything that is of importance to you. These are the list of programs that they offer. So you can check the admissions first. And they are waiving their GRE and application fee for 2024 admission. So for those of you that are interested in applying, they would always just give you, every once it's close to admission session, admission period, they would always you would always find information, webinar information, recruitment schedules. These are recruitment schedules that they have in different places. It can be in person and it can also be virtual. So if you're not sure of what you want to do, I mean, you're just here for the first time navigating everything, it's fine. You can come here, check how to apply, cost and aid. If you're not sure of the city, of course, you can get like a view of how Charlottesville is, what are required for international applicants, choosing a degree, online degree. So these are like FAQs, but we can go through the apply sorry, not apply, um yeah. So you can know what type of degree is right for you. If you're just you're not sure if you want to transition with civil engineering, from civil engineering to another department. And the good thing here is, if you're a civil engineering student and your research is not in the school of department of civil engineering, you can actually go to department of mechanical engineering. There are a lot of interdisciplinary works going on around here, so you don't have to really limit yourself to civil engineering. If you're in a school's website and you don't find your research in school of engineering, you can just move to the You can just move to the Department of Mechanical, see if they have your research program, your research rather. So you can check for the graduate engineering programs. For me, civil engineering. Yeah. So once you move to the department, you can always get a preview of the programs they're offering, what the department is about, their faculty. So before you apply and you just want to send code mails, this is really helpful. Their professors here like are collectively called faculty members. So if it's not here, you can just come to search and then type faculty. It will automatically take you there if you can't find it in the list of options, but it's most times it's usually there. So these are their professors, these are people, sorry, these are people you can reach out to, send code mails to find out more about them. Sorry, some just list the faculty name. Sorry. Some just list the faculty names. You don't see their research area for some schools. They'll just list a bunch of faculty members, professors, emeritus, and all that. They won't tell you their research. So, in that case, if you don't see their research area, just click on their name. It will take you to their profile. Like this one works in traffic operations. You would see his his LinkedIn page, his contacts, his email, and also sometimes, yeah, you would see his research area. So this would give you an insight of what this person is working on and if it's a good fit for you. So of course you would want to send the person a mail. So these are really helpful sources aside from the ones you see on LinkedIn or in groups where they're sent to you. This is another way you can actually reach out to people. Then haven't assuming you've sent out your code mail, they've replied you, they've said, oh yeah, sure, you can apply. You can just come to academics, click on graduate programs, and then they'll give you a list of information about their graduate program, their MSc, their ME. ME is Masters of Engineering, MS is Masters of Science, and their PhD. They would also inform you about which one, like different criteria for getting in for each one of them. Assuming you're going in for PhD, you click on PhD. And then it's to just give you an overview of the research areas that they have: transportation, structures, infrastructure. And of course, they'll tell you the graduation criteria. Like, okay, for you to graduate, you have to fulfill 56, 54 credit hours. That's 36 courses, 18 dissertation. They would always tell you that. So, and when you can graduate, some PhD here lasts from 5 years to from 4 years to 7 years, some longer than that. So, if your school, and another thing you want to do is make sure the school's graduation rate is high. There are some schools they have like 90% acceptance rate. Their graduation rate is just 30%. It means people don't graduate on time in those schools. So you want to be careful. As much as you want to get into schools, also think about getting out of schools. So you should always look for schools with graduation rate of above 60, 50, 60 upwards, just to be safe. And this is their admission criteria, what you need, what you need to get in. And they'll tell you the funding they have for engineering students, if any. And then, luckily for you, there's engineering school requirements. Sometimes you have to, they'll always provide you with a link to go to the engineering school requirements. They'll tell you, oh, for you to also get accepted into the school, after fulfilling all our requirements, you have to meet the engineering school's requirement. And engineering school requirement typically involves exams like GRE, SAT, IELTS, if you have to write. And there are Okay. So you can just go through the Office of Graduate Program, School of Engineering Office of Graduate Program, just to get helpful helpful information concerning your application. And if you want to reach out to the graduate code, assuming the school did not put it on their website, oh, we're offering application fee waiver. Another thing you can actually do is reach out to their graduate coordinator. Like, it is for you to actually have the full experience. I suggest you use this system, because with a phone you have to start navigating through all the buttons, and sometimes it's not convenient. So you can always just reach out to to the graduate school code if you are not sure of, oh, I don't think I saw the admission requirements on your website, or I just want to be sure you guys take HND if you don't, or I want to know if I have to reach out to a professor to get funding. Like for Johns Hopkins, you don't need to reach out to a professor. They admit you with funding if that's for PhD, and if it's with masters, they'll probably give you funding. They did give me funding, but it wasn't full funding. So some schools will categorically spell it out that you don't need to reach out. We don't need you to do that. But some, if you're not sure, you can always reach out to the graduate code for if you're having issues with your application, if you need application fee waiver, if you need to be sure that you need to submit GRE or IELTS, or if you feel like it's on their website that I do need to submit IELTS, but I'm from Nigeria, I've been speaking English all my life, I don't necessarily need it. You can also reach out to them. They can waive IELTS for you if they feel like, or GRE. Sometimes schools waive GRE for students if you demonstrate exceptional academic. So the next stage after all of this is to apply. After you've gotten your application materials ready, like my colleague put you through, and also after reaching out, after sending that code email, either you get a response or not, just reach out, because when I applied to some schools, I did not get, like, before I applied, I sent code mails, but I didn't get a response, and I still applied. And then it was after I applied, I got a response. I know correlation is not causation, but sometimes you can just get lucky after applying. They reach out to you, and some don't respond because they're probably on the admission committee, like University of Virginia State University. Sorry, Virginia Tech. The professor said he can't really talk about it because he's actually on the admission committee. So sometimes just reach out. And if you are looking for apply, like I'm looking for, I can't find it, you can just search. Let's see what that brings out. 50 year master. Okay, that's weird. Since I can't find apply on their website, I think I'm just going to go back. Yeah, so you can just go back if you can't find apply. And the next thing is to just click on your application. So it takes you directly to where you want to apply. It tells you a bunch of stuff. And for a first time, this is the first thing you do. You have to first of all create an account using your email address, your first name, your last name. I'm actually going to obscure that for um, security purposes. Sorry. So sorry, I'm just trying to get. I have some pictures of the different section. I'm just trying to get them. Sorry. So sorry if I actually get all the requirements I'm looking for. Um, when you actually set up your account, it takes you to their application, their online application. It's basically like the normal form you fill, except for the fact that, of course, it's online. So sorry. Okay, sorry. So I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not. Okay, sorry. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry for um the old delay. I was actually looking for this. So I'm actually using an application I used last year because I applied to the school. And if you want to continue your application or start a new application, you actually have to start a new application. But for me, I'll continue my application and let's see if that works. Okay, I'll have to start another one.
Okay.
So this is when you're starting an application, you have to pick like what program you want. Sometimes you have to also pick. Some schools don't specify like the session, like fall 2024, spring 2024. So you have to pick. Of course, if you're applying for fall, pick fall. If you're applying for spring, pick spring. Just make sure you pick the right one, and then you navigate to the school you're applying for. Mine is School of Engineering. Okay. I hope you can still see my screen because I don't want to start all over.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So the first these are the list of things you have to actually fill: the program, your personal background, military status if you were ever in the military, academic history, test scores, university standards, and a whole bunch of supplementary materials. So of course you pick the course you're going for: civil engineering, the degree, whatever degree you want, PhD, and like I said, the term. I'll be applying for fall 2024, and then you're going to pick whatever suits you, your prefix, your gender, and everything. And then your address, your phone number, and all that. So yeah, so this is the part where you're going to pick your race and ethnicity. Of course, you are not. We pick black, your country of residence. The part I'm actually very interested in is from academic history. Okay, so for your academic history, if you are a polytechnic student, you would want to combine your HND and ND transcripts together. You don't have to split it. Although some split it, but it leads to confusion and then they send you a mail that they don't really understand what is going on. So have your HND and ND transcripts like I know you are going to get it separately. In my case, I got it separately. So you can just scan it and then make it into one PDF and upload. I'm going to have to add another institution because so you add the name.
Hmm?
Sometimes your school might not be there, so you just have to put it in there. It won't give you a list of options like Lagos State University is actually there because somebody have applied or people have applied to the school before, so it's registered, and then you pick your country, not really relevant, and all of this, and then you just submit your transcript. Some schools would actually ask you for your grade. I don't know why it doesn't have it. Your CGPA. It will ask you, okay, what is your CGPA is over what? For polytechnic students, we use over 4. So you just put 3.8 over 4. Your level of study is undergraduate. Oh, okay. The degree awarded. This is a really tricky part, but just put in bachelors of science because when you evaluate your
It's okay.
results, it's going to be equivalent to a bachelor's degree. So you can choose bachelor's of engineering or bachelor of science, either one that works for you. And if you do have your transcripts evaluated, always attach your HND, ND, and then your evaluated transcripts together. Add it into a PDF. Sometimes they don't really need, once you have an evaluated transcript, they don't need the other ones, but just to be on the safe side, include all 3 of them. And if you don't have evaluation, it's fine. Just put in bachelor's of degree and bachelor of engineering, the date you were given, let's say in April 2029, and then your major is like here they have for their undergraduate you can major in civil engineering and then minor in arts and sciences, or major in civil engineering and minor in mechanical engineering. So your major is civil, and if you are like a person who has, I don't know, like in civil, you can pick options: structural, geotechnical. You can just put structural engineering, and your CGPA, let's say, is like
Water.
8 out of 4.0. But if it's like 3.84, you can just pick it. Is English your primary language? Yes, please. Your award and honor. People leave these places blank because they're not really sure of what to say. But if you've ever gotten an award in church, if sorry, my audio is if you've ever gotten an award in church, in school, wherever, just put it there. It might not feel academic, even if it's not academic, just put it there. It shows that at one point in time you actually were in a position and then you got this. So you should actually just include everything you can. Some always ask for class position, like out of class rank, like out of 100, what position were you? So you should always include that. So it usually comes uh, after your GPA or before your GPA. So you can just include that. Upload your transcript if you are not sure. I can't leave this place. Let's just be in
Documents.
it should not follow chrono. Oh wow. Okay, and then you continue. So because GRE is waived for fall 2024, you can just keep it. These are just a bunch of codes that the school asks you to fill. And of course, just make sure you read through them and fill them appropriately because you don't want to pick yes when your answer is supposed to be a no. This does not apply to you because it's just for in-states people that are from Virginia, basically. Okay, and then this is supplemental information that if you feel can actually aid your application, you might want to include it there. Your your resume or CV and your personal statements. So this is actually good. They actually listed out what they want in your personal statement. Some schools don't do that, but most schools will ask you to submit a personal statement. Would always give you things they want because kind of is kind of different from an SOP. So they would tell you what specific you want to write in your personal statement, and then your statement. I would suggest you not leave it blank because optional statement can make or break your admission in the sense that if your personal statement is limited to like 200 words and you have something more to put out there, something you feel the admission committee should know, your optional statement is really good. You can just squeeze the extra stuff inside. And then faculty of interest. That is why you should really research about the people, the school and research area. Would you want to work with? Like after going through their faculty, who are the people that really, really interest you? And of course, you have to put it from most to least research. So you can just put in like the people you send your cold mails to. If you send to cold two professors, you can just put two. And if you want to list more, that's fine as well. And then your academic and research interest. What research do you want to work on? You can have three options. So you can always just pick three options that if this one doesn't pan out, this one would definitely work out or it's fine by me. Then this is the financial aids. You should also want to read it. They'll ask you, some schools might not really ask you for that. They'll just ask you, oh, do you want to be considered for fellowship or any available funding? Your answer would definitely be yes. But this asks for a whole bunch of other questions, which is good, I guess. It asks if you've gotten an NSF grant, if you've submitted an NSF grant research fellowship. I think that's usually for citizens here. And your application history. This one is always a no, I guess. Well, except for my case where I've applied before and other stuff. Research. And your research experience. even if you've not conducted like a real research before, I guess all those lab works that you've been doing, those practical that they'll ask you to write, even if it's just writing, just put it there. As long as you can defend it, though. Don't put what you cannot defend, but don't leave it blank. You have research experience, even if your IT period, your CWS period, those are they are in a way they are practical experience. So just put it there. The practical work you did for soil mechanics or something, just put it there. It's research work. And also like the number of hours or months you've done your research, your industry experience. Your IT is a good one. IT and COS is a good industry experience. And if you've been out of school for longer, that's also fine. You can include it. But for those who have not been out of school for like up to 2 years or up to enough time to actually get proper industry experience, you can actually just include it too. And these are additional information. Like some schools, like I said, there's a whole lot of interdisciplinary work going on in the US. So you can be in civil and work with people in physics and mechanical or people in computer. So if you're interested in other programs, it will actually not cost you anything. You would still get your PhD in civil and a PhD in something else. Or PhD in civil engineering, major civil, minor cyber physical systems or something. Then afterwards, you don't actually have to finish all your application in one sitting. If you get overwhelmed or you get tired or Nigeria network is just bad, you can just leave it and then come back. Once you continue, it would save. Although some schools are not like that, they would categorically have the save button. Yes, but
Bad
of course,
network.
once you continue, it will definitely this section is safe, so you won't have to start again. And this really good section recommendation, wow. Um, I know a lot of
Like
people are really
automatically.
um
Wow.
have the issue of getting people to recommend for them. I spoke with someone.
Koreans.
Um, I'm I'm an eye scholar, so like we always have to mentor people after you've gotten the fellowship or the scholarship. So I was talking with someone, and the person said, "Oh, I'm only reaching out to professors because they have higher ranking." Yeah, professors are good if you have access to
Higher
a professor.
qualifications.
But if you don't have access to a professor, please don't give up on coming to the US to study, or don't give up on your academic dream because of that. Use a normal lecturer, like anybody that can
I have
attest
done
to you, aside from
recommendation
your
for so
pastor
many
and your
people.
family member,
I can't count
anybody, even if
that
it's
have gotten
that man that
admission.
used to teach you lab work, as long as it's someone that you've rapport with, somebody that is close to you that can testify that, oh, this person is dedicated and hardworking and would really excel in your school. Because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it's not the title that matter, it's the content of what is in it. They don't
yeah.
look at the title, they overlook it. It is what the person is writing. So you can
They,
give
they,
one professor and the professor will write
they
jargon.
want they want the description to be you in real time.
Yeah, because these people are psychological. I'm telling you, like they
Yeah,
find
yeah,
answers where you don't expect it. They read from
yeah,
your body language. They read from
yeah,
the tone of your message of
yeah,
what you're writing. You might feel that there's no
yeah,
emotion in writing,
yeah.
but there are lots of emotions in writing. So
No,
the tone you're
there is.
conversing with or you're writing really matters. So if you don't have a professor, please look for somebody that can just testify to you. And then you can just add, as I think they have like you have to add at least three recommenders for PhD. Um, is usually here from yeah.
Three. Yeah,
So the best method, of course, is through mail. Don't use any other method. It's just going to slow the whole process. And if your lecturers do not have like a school mail or a professional mail, if you are using somebody in your office, just let them use their personal mail. Yeah, it might take a while because they're going to tell you that, oh, we'll verify this mail to make sure it's actually legit and it's
officially,
not somebody. But
official.
if they don't have,
Yeah,
yeah, if they don't have an official mail, they can use their personal mail. There are some schools I used personal mails for and it worked. So you can always do that. And then the final part is your signature. And then, of course, it will ask you to review what you've done so far and tell you if there's any issue. Like now, I said we've detected following errors in your application. It will tell you what issues you have in your applications before you finally submit. You should just take your time before submitting an application, because after submitting, there is only little correction you can do. So take all, but when I say take all the time, I mean like make sure there's like a month to go before the like a month before the application deadline. Then you can submit a month. So if you start now, you can submit in November, just to take all your sweet time doing, making sure you submit the correct application, making sure your recommenders are responding. Although you can edit your recommenders after submitting. So if somebody is not responding, you can always remove them and then add other people. So that's really fine. And another section you can edit afterwards is, I think, your transcripts. There are sometimes you can always upload your transcript, so that's fine. So that's basically everything about the application process, the whole stage you have to go through. But like I said, you should start early, so you have enough time to really know what you want to do. And at this stage, I'm pretty sure most people are confident enough with their SOP and their personal statement, and they have a list of recommenders. And another thing is, don't have three, because they are requesting for three. Don't have three recommenders. I have like six, because you might apply to like 18 schools, and some people are not so open to writing. Of course, it's going to be copy and paste all over for the 18 schools, but some people do not have the time, and you can't really blame them when they say, oh, I don't think I can apply. I can recommend 18, like different schools up to 18 for you. But if you have six, you can split them you can split the schools into two. Oh, these people go for this, these people go for this. It really helps you a lot, rather than having just like two people recommending for a whole lot of schools. And it also means responsiveness also from the side of the recommenders. And if you're still struggling with your SOP, another thing you can use is AI, Chat GPT. Now, I'm not saying you should copy chat, like copy everything chat GPT gives you,
ChatGPT
but it helps you brainstorm. It's going to like your personal
insight.
assistant. Yeah, use it as your personal assistant. Of course, your personal assistant just gives you the tips, little things here and there, and you just make the bigger picture yourself. So you can just ask Chat GPT to, oh, can you write an SOP for me? I am this, I am that, I have a CGPA of this, I've done this, I've done that. And it's a draft something up, and then you can read through and, oh, okay, I have an idea of how my SOP should be. I have an idea of the tone. And you can also use I think Harvard has a material for writing SOP. So you can go through their website, and I think Stanford too. These are really helpful. And of course, don't forget your um generative AI is like Grammarly, Qbot, that can help you in, I don't know, paraphrasing. You can see something in somebody's SOP. So instead of copying directly or something, you can just paraphrase, go, refine, fine tune your everything. And I wish you guys best of luck. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so very much, my ice scholar. It has been a very fantastic one from our hand and the earlier presenter to Olojo. Yeah, and I believe everybody trying to navigate through the application parts would really have a deep insights. And if you have been applying, I'm quite sure you would have a deeper insight into the application process. So, and I believe you found this session so interesting and insightful for to be a personal guide towards your application. Yeah, in addition to what she had just said, application process, it's not something you just jump into immediately. You have to navigate, you have to plan yourself, plan your document, your SOP, your recommenders, you have to reach out to them, your academic CV, you prepare them, you take your time and you look for a very good reviewer. Then you also need to get information about the school that you want to apply to. That will really, really help you. So, and if you could do that, then you start your application. And the key takeaway from the session by Ayo is that you don't necessarily need to start and finish up your application in one sitting. Yeah, you can always, start application and come back to it to continue. Most of the school will auto save the application process, so you don't need to, stress yourself so much or burn out yourself, so that you can always find it very interesting. So I'm telling you, application process is very, very interesting, and you have to plan it. You have to do your background check. So as at the time of applying, you have all your information, all your PDF documents that you have to be uploaded. Then the recommenders are ready, and you find it so interesting. And I think we'll go to the question and answer session so that we answer some of your questions. So, question? I think we are hoping to receive questions from the listener so that we can attend to your questions. While waiting to accept or answer some of your questions that we would have, I also need to reiterate on this. Maybe I should ask Ayo to tell us more about this. I have experienced many people during the course of their application. Okay, I think I have a question, and let us look at this. Ayo, what of
Sir?
those polytechnic students that obtain HND and ND in a different school? You have a question here.
Oh, okay.
Polytechnic students that obtain their HND and ND in different schools. So how can they
Oh,
upload their transcripts?
okay. Like I said, there's really no big deal there. You just get your ND transcript from the previous school, and of course your HND transcript from the other school, and just use a scanner. You can use your phone. I think cam scanner. You can scan it and then just make it one PDF, and that's it. That's just it. There's no issue. But if you, I don't know if you are going to evaluate, it might help. But even if you are not evaluating, there's no issue. They see that, okay, this is for the first 2 years and this is for the remaining 2 years. We've seen people who have to duplicate two separate
This for the last. Yeah.
transcript from two different schools, and it worked out fine for them. So there's really no issue there.
Okay. That's a very cool one. I'm thinking Adebayo Kazim gets that so clearly. And in your academic CV, you would have listed the schools from which you obtain those, let me call diplomas. So it's not a big deal. So just make it a PDF file. Then by the time they are scrolling through and they make use of your academic CV in line with the transcripts. So it's a very clear information.
Also, another thing that you might want to do is, if you are not evaluating, another thing that can help is you can do it separately. Like, if those schools are actually taking HND, since they are two different
Okay.
schools, you do ND for like upload, like you saw when I uploaded mine, it was, you saw last will take twice. So you can do it like that. Upload the first one for your ND, and then upload the second one for your HND. Since there are schools that take HND, they will understand. You don't have any
HND.
problem. You can do it either way.
Okay. Yeah. Let us look at this together, because this has always been a very serious part. Ayo, this is directed to you. I know it's a popular question by many people, or insinuations. When you submit your application, and the deadline for that application is clearly stated from the school website, do recommendations or recommenders a deadline, is it the same to the deadline in which you have to submit your application? Do recommenders do have extended deadline? Hope you get the question,
I think you said
because I've gotten this question severally. Yeah.
do they have
Do
deadline to submit
recommenders,
recommendation?
yeah, the deadline for the schools to get the recommendations, the recommendation letters, is it the
Okay.
same with the deadline for the application?
Yes, it is.
Is that clear?
Although for yes, can you hear
It
me?
is. Okay.
For most schools,
Yeah,
it
we can.
is. It is. But some schools can allow like a window of
Okay.
about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But I would always advise you, like little things make a candidate stand out. And one of them is meeting application deadline. Submit your application, make sure you have your recommenders
Okay.
sent your recommendation sent in before the application deadline. You may feel it's not necessary or this one is not part of the selection criteria, but you don't really know what they would actually use to signify to distinct you out of the other pool of students. Some schools tell you, oh, your recommendation letter can come in a month after, 2 months after, but it's not ideal in my own case. Like it doesn't really sit well.
Okay. Okay. Another question is popping up from Chibuzo. Good evening, ma. I have an issue. I have a BSc and HND. I have transcripts for my BSc, but I do not have that of my HND, and the Polytechnic is on strike. However, I have the statement of results. So how can this person juxtapose between a BSc and an HND? Can I respond to that?
Do you want to
Hello?
respond to that or should I?
Okay, please go on. Go on. Go on.
Okay, the first question I want to ask is for the BSc, did they write like I don't know, I didn't do top up or conversion, but on your BSc, did it start from like the it started from like the third
Is
year,
it
right?
direct entry? Is
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Like, is it direct entry or like did you start from
Mm.
first year with your BSc or you did like a 3 year BSc and then you have to attach your HND result with it? If you could respond, that would really help. But okay, let's assume you
So,
did do direct
Chibuzo, can you
entry.
respond to that? I think it's on. It could. Okay.
Okay, if assuming you did do direct entry and your BSc transcript starts from like the third year, you can't use you can't really use it because they want to see from the first 2 years, but you can still start your application, still start. I mean, there are cases where people that are graduating next year, like next year July, start use their transcripts. It's called, I've forgotten what it's called, but you can actually use your transcript and then update it after you've been given admission. So you could actually just try your luck pending when your HND transcript
Yeah.
comes in.
Okay. In addition to that, what the my scholar is trying to explain is that when you talk about transcripts, their admission committee, they are trying to look at the course by course details of all what you have done during your undergrad. They are particularly about the details of all courses. And if you have your BSc and you are starting from the third year, you can imagine a number of courses that would not be included. I'm sure that will be about almost 40 courses that will be out of that transcript for year one and year two. I think year one, you'll be running about 20 something courses. In year two, you'll be running about another 20 something. That's like 50 courses. That even the research areas that you want to join, or the professor you want to join might particularly be interested in some subjects or in some courses that will be missing from your BSc transcript. So that will be a negative on your part. In fact, using your HND transcript might even be better than using that BSc that might not be complete. So in this case, your HND will be your strengths. But as she has said, you can start your application and upload the BSc later if you are sure to come out before the deadline. Is WES evaluation compulsory? WES evaluation. Well, Ayo, you can go on with that. That question is it compulsory?
Okay. So I'll share a
I'm
little
sure.
bit of
I'm sure the
my
answer is clear.
I'll share a little bit of my own experience. So when I initially applied to
Okay.
schools, I did not evaluate my transcript, and I applied to I think about 15 schools. Yeah, it's not LD, but I did.
You got several admissions without WES.
Yes, I did. I got admission. I got admission to Stanford without West. I got to Johns
So
Hopkins without
Carnegie
West. I got to
Mellon,
Carnegie Mellon without West. I got
Carnegie
into
Mellon, and the
case
like.
without West, but the graduate
About six
department did
schools.
have West
Yes, you understand.
because in those other schools,
At the
the
dying minutes.
yeah, the other schools they're so the department is really independent. So the thing is, it is not compulsory, but it gives you a broader chance. That's just the honest truth. If you evaluate to because I didn't
That's the
evaluate
truth,
on
yeah.
time, I applied to just 15 schools. I could have applied for more, yeah, but it was still limited. There are over 300 schools in the US, over 300 schools. So if you have your West evaluation, you can apply to
Some will
like
state it categorically
20
that they need
top
WES.
schools. 20 top schools. Some will tell you that no, you don't have to worry. We have in-house evaluation, like those other schools I mentioned. Some don't have. They
Yeah.
would they would want you to evaluate themselves. It's being lazy actually, but they want you to evaluate themselves yourself. So if you don't have, it's fine. You can get into schools with full funding, I assure you. And if you do have, good for you. You have
Yeah,
lots of
sure.
opportunity. So either way, you'll still get into school with funding. So you don't have to worry.
So in a nutshell, if you can do your WES evaluation, if you know you cannot afford it, there is always a way out. It's not compulsory. And your application will be tailored towards schools that specifically will not even ask for WES. Just search. It's the power of search. Conduct your background check and see the schools you can apply to. Okay, what can I do in case when you send a graduate coordinator a mail regarding application season from spring to winter season, I am not getting feedback? Wow. Okay, let me respond to this. When you send a code email to graduate code and you are not getting response, you may wait a while, maybe after another 2 weeks, and send a reminder. And let your reminder be in line with the earlier thread. Don't send a fresh email. Send in line with that thread so that it will see that, oh, you've sent a message earlier. Then at the same time, in our last webinar, there was a clear point that we raised. Anytime, even in my last video, for you to send code email to graduate coordinator or professors, please check through the website very well and see there are some informations that are clear on the website. You don't ask such questions from graduate school. That's one of the number one reason why they will not respond to your email, because they just feel you're coming to graduate school and this information is categorically spelled out on our website and you're still asking. You are being lazy and you are not a research oriented person. That's just the meaning. So if you see that your response is not being answered and you do a follow-up email maybe after 2 weeks, always wait for like 2 to 3 weeks and no response is gotten, check your email very well and check what you're asking. There might be something wrong somewhere. So, Ayo, do you have any addition to that? Oh, she's offline.
No, I'm actually not. I don't want things to come in. That's why.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see the previous question.
What
Well,
if you have? Okay, the previous question. Oh, the question was if you send a code email to graduate
yeah.
code to graduate coordinator, and you about the application season and the likes, and you got no response. So that what can you do?
Okay, I think we're mixing something up. Cold email is like is a jargon in the admission process that basically implies reaching out to a professor of your choice that interests you with
Professor,
regards to
yeah,
research
yeah,
that you want to work with. So when
okay,
like the application season, like what questions are you asking? Like you said, it's really matters what question you're asking. Some of these people are
okay.
just nasty. They are
It's
nasty. No, like they won't respond to you because they
they are
feel it's,
nasty.
yeah, they're nasty. Some of
The
them
person
are
is
not
asking
really.
about spring or winter season, which will be clearly seen on the website. They won't answer.
Okay,
If the
so
thing is on the
most times
website,
they
the question
don't
is
have
clearly said on the website,
winter
they will just
season.
look at
They don't have winter season.
the season,
I don't. Yeah, it's rare. Even Atom is only one school I've seen,
spring
and it's,
or winter. Mm.
yeah, it's spring, summer, fall, and
Majorly, you have
autumn.
spring and fall.
Yeah, majorly
And
spring
fall.
and fall. So it depends on the question you're asking again, and make sure the email address is actually delivering. Sometimes it might not deliver at their own end. If you're sure it's delivering, reach out to someone else. You can reach out to, aside from the program coordinator, you can reach out to the they have another director
Okay,
that
the
you can always reach out to.
departmental.
Yeah, if not the
Mm.
department, you can reach out to the graduate school. It always helps.
Like the
They will,
gen-
if they cannot
yeah,
answer your question, they will refer you or copy
like the gen
someone
of
who
this.
can do
Yeah,
it in a mail.
yeah,
So
yeah. Respond. Okay, I think we'll take 2 to 3 more questions. Then, yeah, is there any harm in applying to grad schools without first contacting the grad coordinator about your interests? Obviously, no. But some school we want you to contact. No, contacting grad school coordinator is not necessary. I think we are mixed. Some things are being mixed. Ayo, hello.
I can hear you, sir.
When we talk about maybe we should just do this. We have to explain reaching out to graduate school coordinator, reaching out to professor. You were explaining the other time. Maybe we should explain all this in details. Why do you need to reach out to graduate school coordinator? What are the specific questions you can ask? Why reaching out to a professor? What are the type of questions you can ask him? So, because this
Okay.
question, if you read
Yeah,
this very
it
well, say,
seems
is there any
really
harm applying to grad schools without
rare. So, like
uh,
I said, schools
so what
differ.
can you how can you put this?
Schools differ, and as schools differ, so do departments differ in the sense that for, like I said, for Johns Hopkins, they categorically stated it in their website. Please do not reach out to professors. You don't need to. If we're admitting you for the PhD, you are fully funded. If we're admitting you to the masters, we might offer you some sort of funding. So sometimes they will categorically state it in their website. But in
Funding.
cases where they don't, reach and you're not sure of what to do, reach out to the graduate code or any professor. They would, if they can't answer your question, they will always refer you to somebody who can. That's the nice thing about them. So reach out to anybody. The graduate code, if it's not responding, reach out to the graduate school, reach out to a professor there. Even if it's undergraduate code, it will tell you, oh, I'm not responsible for graduate, but I'll refer you to somebody who can answer your question. There would always be this line of this chain of
Yeah.
communication that would lead to the right person. So in case you don't see it on their website, it means you most likely it means you have to write the code mail, get the professor, especially if it is PhD and it is a science oriented. Like if it is engineering, most times you would need an advisor. And also for the graduate code, the questions you want to be asking the graduate code is, oh, I'm from Nigeria. Do I need to write IELTS? Or I'm from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Can I get
Yeah.
application fee waiver? Are there webinars I can attend that I can get application fee waiver?
Waiver.
Do I need to have
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
advisor before applying to get funding, or can I just automatically get
Before
funding?
applying.
Those are questions, and you want to have already started asking those questions by now, by this time of the application session. You already want to have started
The
asking those
application window.
questions, which now, yes, at this point you've already asked, can I get waiver? If not, okay, how do I get waiver from the department or from graduate school? If I can't, do I have to reach out to professors to get funding? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that elaborate response to that question. So after this question, we take two more, then we call it the end of the session. Can I switch course? Like I had HND
You
in chemical engineering and I apply for biotechnology, of course. Okay, go ahead,
yes,
please.
you can. You
So please.
definitely can. Like I said, here there is a whole lot of interdisciplinary work. Like I'm I'm in civil and I
A
work
whole
with
lot.
somebody in electrical, computer, and mechanical. Like my lab works with people from physics, chemical, mechanical, computer, electrical. So you can switch as long as you have a research that you're interested in and it's not in your lab, it's in another lab. And since it's chemical engineering, I feel you can switch to biotechnology science. It might be a bit of a struggle because, of course, you have people with biotechnology background coming in as well. But trust me, once you
Mm.
get the professor to, and I think there's a lot of funding for this course, so you're in good shape. You definitely get, you can switch and you definitely get funding.
Wow. So that is Indomie for that. The person that asked that question. So biotechnology
Yeah,
is an
both
Indomie. So hot
both
straight.
chemical
So we are good
engineering
to
and
go.
biotechnology science, they have a lot of funding. Like they are really
Yeah.
lucky guys. So if you are going as a
Yeah.
chemical engineer or
Lucky
biotechnologist,
guys. Yeah.
yeah, they have funding.
Yeah. Yeah. Indomie applicants. Okay. So let me direct this question to Olojo. So Olojo, I believe you are on.
Yes, yeah, that's
So
correct.
somebody is asking that Ali. Yeah, Ali is asking that he has a BNG from 200 level through direct entry. Do I have to merge both transcript for diploma and degree? So that's your question, Olojo.
Yes, that's correct. I think you have to match both the diploma and the degree together because both of them are what qualifies you for the degree. Because yeah, 200 level you might feel like you've used 4 years in the university. Yeah, but it matters a lot. Your undergraduate degree, the diploma degree matters a lot. If when applying to schools, they always say it specifically that we need the transcript of every school you have attended.
Hmm.
Uh, like
Yeah.
aside from after your secondary school, we need the transcript of every every school you have attended that is higher institution. Whereas it has maybe even if you have an MBA in economics, you have any degree, as you should always attach it. Is what makes up a good profile. They know that yes, this guy or this person has gone through this and gone through that and still want to go through this. Yeah. So I feel like it's very, very important to match them. They constitute your profile, and they might be a very good advantage for you. You never can say that's majorly what it
Yeah.
is.
Thank you for that response. Thank you so very much. So I want to believe I'm taking one or two more questions before the end of this session. So Aroka is asking, oh, Zinzu, you're on. Thank you. So Oloji, the question from Zinzu is for you. Oloji, can you remember Zinzu? I'm not sure.
Yes. Yeah, I
Not
can
sure.
remember.
Okay, 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 okay. It's
So
asking, what if you have your ND, HND, and BSc? So,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
however, you did your direct entry, so okay,
okay, like I
yeah, go
said
on.
earlier, it's almost the same question. Your both your ND, your HND, and your BSc is needed. The three of them. Yes, yeah. Those are your transcripts. It shows the admission committee that, oh, this person has actually done a lot in the field of, whatever department that you are. You have ND, you have HND, you have BSc. That's about, you know 7 years of education in that, department. So it shows that, and you're still willing to further more. Yeah, I don't know. It shows resilience. It shows that you're really, really interested. So that's just it. So I feel your ND, your HND, and your BSc, match all of them together. That is what you are using for your application. I,
Application, nice one.
so, like, while
Okay.
applying, you always say it there. We need all your transcripts, all your transcripts. And if you are considering that you are having maybe low GPA in one, so you want to remove it behind, no, it doesn't really matter. Fine, low GPA might be there, but
Hmm.
because you have the ND, the HND, and the BSc, it shows some important thing that you need to buttress on. That even the admission committee already understands that, oh, this person is, a very, very good student and is thriving in this area. So I feel like the combination of the three is good.
Wow. I think I love this response because I have met quite a number of people. They will come and be like, my ND result is very low. I have lower in NG. It was when I resumed my HND that I was so serious and I have good results. So I think that this very response answers it all. It's not all about what you have particularly. There are a lot of other things that you can use, to boost up that very low ND result. If your HND result is fine, you have a good recommendation, from a very good lecturer of yours. You have a good research work. In fact, the main thing that your prospective, let me say, your supervisor might be looking at is, oh, you did even during your ND, maybe there's a particular course that I have a very good score at, maybe calculus, and you score like a very good score. They might just be looking at that score in that course or two, which hopefully you did so well, and adding your HND to it and every other things that makes you a better candidate. So please, it's not all about dropping your ND or one of the certificates where you have a low CGPA. So just bring up all your profile, bring it up, and be a better applicant. So,
So I
lastly,
I
okay,
want to say something. So
I think
I
let me.
observed that in
Okay,
my
say.
department, they are so concerned about your mathematics. Like, the so what my PI is the graduate director for our department. So majorly what they are concerned about is your mathematics in that transcript. If you are coming to a mechanical engineering department, like, how is your level of mathematics? So it's something that when they look at your transcript,
So,
they are going to check first, how has this person done in the mathematics area. So imagine, because you had low grade in other courses that might not even be relevant to whatever you're applying to, but because you've done so well in some key areas that is
imagine.
important to the admission committee. Your math, you have
Committee,
you have you
and
have
they
A
feel you will
or
make a very good addition to the current research.
exactly. So it's just the way it is.
Oh, that's
That will
good.
be all.
That's good. So, Olojo, the last question is equally for you, and I also want Ayo to comment on that question. Then we'll wrap it up from there. So, I have Deborah asking this question, and I can see this question is so important that please, is it enough to depend on information on the school website? Please, is it enough to depend on the information on the school website? So
That
I
is, I
want
don't know. That question is very, very
I want
important.
it
I
I want
guess so. So, enough.
so I want your
Yeah. So,
response. I also want Ayo immediately to also comment.
so that is one of the advantage of contacting the graduate coordinator ahead before applying for that particular school. Yeah, some schools might give you all the best, like like the details on their website will be meticulous enough to help you throughout your application, the application stuff. But some schools, you need to reach out to them to confirm that, oh, I'm applying. Okay, for example, uh there was this particular school we were trying to apply to. If not because we reach out to the graduate coordinator, we wouldn't have known that they don't accept HND in that particular school. You would have just go ahead because it was not stated categorically on the website that they don't accept HND. But you have to ask the graduate coordinator to be sure, oh, I am an HND applicant, can I apply? This is my
Hmm,
transcript. So
hmm.
most of the time that
This
information
is
is not
my
always, I think
transcript.
so I think that information is not available on the department website or the school website for some schools. Why some schools will state it that we also welcome HND applicants and all. So some schools will say it that even if you have a 4-year degree, a 4-year degree is what our HND is equivalent to. If you have a 4-year degree, then you are good to go. You can, come to our department, we accept you. Why some schools don't state it there? So that is my own observation. So I don't know if Ayo has any other addition
Oh,
to what you just said.
thank you. Then Ayomide, any addition to that?
Actually, you've Oloja has answered really, really well. Yeah, it's not really, it's not a one-way street. It's like you want to rely on the information you find on school's website. But if you're not feeling, what I would say is, if you're not feeling confident enough, like, okay, I feel there's something more I need to know, or in this area, I feel okay, I can walk around this, but I need to be sure. You can reach out to the graduate code. But usually, the information on website is enough.
So, in summary, please, the information on the school website, it's very, very important, very germane. And it's always good to be an applicant that creates the school website. In fact, take time to study the
So you
information
know
on the
that
school
I
website
joined.
before you jump into your application. It helps, it gives you the confidence required for that
Why?
application.
Why did you come? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
I was wondering
So
what
thank you,
that was.
everybody. It has been a very wonderful session. And we're also sorry for the technical hitches we experienced while the session was starting. It was a very serious one. And in fact, I was timed out for several minutes before I could, get a better reception then to, join the session back. And Olojo Mubarak, thank you so very much for, making it live today. Then Ayomide High Scholar, thank you so very much for taking your time too, and all persons present. So thumbs up for you all. I appreciate you guys, and I believe we have a lot of things to share together. Thank you so very much. Then we will be announcing the next date for our next webinar. And I think that webinar will be able to accommodate a lot of questions and answer. But you might even make it a question and answer session where we get some questions before the webinar, Then we just treat a little, maybe few minutes, a topic for a few minutes that relates with those questions we have gotten. Then we come live on that session and answer several of your questions. So we bring in some other scholars that are currently in the US, Canada, UK, so to join us in addressing some of those questions so that we can make it a very interactive and educative one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.